In the 4 states, many residents waking up this morning to find their property impacted by last night's severe storms. That's certainly the case for many in the Joplin metro area, where thousands are dealing with trees down, damage to homes, businesses, and we have tens of thousands of people without power. 30,000 people without power between Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri this morning, and we'll narrow that down for you. But right now in Jasper County, 7,000 without power, according to Liberty. KSN's Dustin Latimer went to some of the hardest hit areas in the city of Joplin. He got a firsthand look. He spent the night looking at some of the damage. He's live this morning. And Dustin, we're seeing significant damage in Joplin, including to an apartment complex that had damage. What are you seeing where you are?
Yeah, Tiffany, I'm live this morning near 12th and Rangeline. I'm standing in front of Herman Lumber. That's where they suffered extensive business damage to Herman Lumber. This was the first damaged area that I came across yesterday as I was surveying some of the damage just after midnight. And this area here appears to be one of the worst when it comes to damage. I'm talking about things like metal siding being peeled right off of buildings, large trees uprooted, some of those even landing on houses, and many down power lines, power poles that were snapped, bent over almost 45 degrees, and electric lines, like I said, strung all over neighborhoods like the one that I'm standing in now. I want to show you some of the damage in the immediate area that I'm in. Like I said, I'm in front of Herman Lumber's, just off of Rangeline and 12th Street. Most of the building behind me that carried the lumber inside, all of the siding has been peeled away and torn back behind the building. Also, some of the areas around us, like you were talking about, Tiffany, they have extensive roof damage. One of those is an apartment complex just one block over. Another one is an apartment complex that's popular with college students over by Missouri Southern. That's around the area of 7th and Duquesne. Now take a look at some of this video I shot earlier this morning. It's from the damage that I witnessed and wanted to report that the National Weather Service said the greatest extent of storm damage here in Joplin appears to be to the east of Rangeline to Duquesne and then south of 7th Street to 20th Street. That large square area that I'm talking about on the east side of Joplin, that's where the majority of the largest storm damage occurred. With that said, now most of Joplin saw some form of storm damage that rolled through just before midnight last night. Now, not long after the storm safely passed to our east, emergency crews such as the Joplin Fire Department, Joplin Police Department, they were going block by block through Joplin. They were surveying the damage. They wanted to make sure that people were not hurt, they were not injured. Since emergency crews have been busy with damage assessments, it's unknown at this time if there were any injuries or deaths here in Joplin from that line of storms. As I was monitoring the storm that came through the Joplin area late last night, our team of meteorologists, they said that right now it looks like radar indicated winds of 70 to 80 miles an hour. Some of the radar velocity pings, they showed winds up to 90 plus miles an hour. Now, it's unknown if the damage that we're seeing is strictly from straight line winds or if they are from a tornado that spun up and touched down here in Joplin. We'll find that out later, most likely from a National Weather Service assessment, as teams from our Springfield office of the National Weather Service likely come here to Joplin to survey the damage because, Tiffany, it is extensive.
Yeah, it definitely is, Dustin. We were just hearing, even just within the last 15 minutes or so before we came on the air, firefighters dealing with still some down power lines. Were you seeing impacts to travel as you traveled, even just from the station? I know you've been out overnight surveying the damage, but are you seeing still areas that are blocked off or where you're having to go around power lines or large trees?
Yeah, still even this morning, Joplin Police Department is asking people, if you can, please stay off of the roads in the main area. Like I said, I'm talking about is from 7th Street to 20th Street, and then behind me from Rangeline all the way to Duquesne. That seems to be the worst area, where almost every single street has some kind of debris, whether that be trees down or power lines. Of course, power lines, you do not want to drive over those. That's why police are asking people if you can avoid that area and lots of other areas around you too, Tiffany. It didn't just really impact this area, although it seems to suffer the strongest damage. A lot of areas around Joplin and even further to the east suffered damage, much like we're seeing here. Back to you.
Yeah, know a lot of people without power. Dustin, we'll check back in with you in just a few moments. Thank you so much for showing us that significant damage. Hard to see that, some of that damage to this apartment complex, and we know homes are damaged too, and a lot of fences are down at homes. We found more storm damage. Take a look from the tornado that the National Weather Service said was radar indicated. Here's a look at the damage on County Road 199. This is just off of North Prosperity outside of Dunaweg. A larger tree was blocking the road you can see off of County Road 199. We know at least one mobile home had significant damage from the winds. Power lines were down through the yard. You can see some of that damage to the home right there. And a building on their property was also leveled. Down the road on HH Highway, large branches and trees made the road impassable. You can see the large trees right there. Police officers were blocking the road from County Road 200 to County Road 170. You can see them trying to push stuff out of the way there. Down the road, a firefighter was helping to cut a tree into smaller pieces and help to get it off of the road. And we found lots of power lines down on County Road 170. The lines were blocking the road. It wasn't just power lines. You can see those large trees there, and debris also was covering the road. Carthage firefighters helping to remove a tree there on County Road 170. That tree was blocking Gum Road. So be aware if you're getting out today that obviously this morning is not the good time to get out, especially if you're in any of these areas that saw storm damage. We are still working to get a complete list of storm damage, and we do know in Jasper County right now 7,000 customers without power according to Liberty. In Cherokee County, 70 customers without power, about little less than 1,400 in Newton County, and a little under 700 in Ottawa County this morning. So a lot of people still without power throughout the 4 states.